tell me again, what is your actual title?
So I am the volunteer coordinator.
And how long have you been in that position?
I have been in this position for 6 years as of February 1st.
6 years, wow. And what were you doing prior to coming to Project SHARE?
I was a student at HAC, and I have an associate's in social services.
Oh, what made you want to do that? What brought you into that kind of profession? Or that
So in
study?
high school, I started looking into a nursing career and became a nurse's aide. And I did that while I went through college and quickly discovered that that wasn't the exact career path that I wanted to take, but that I still wanted to help people more in an office setting than a medical setting. So I pursued social services, which is a pretty wide study that allows you to go into many different fields.
So they're both caring positions. I mean, you know that I used to teach what we call preclinical nurse aid training at Employment Skills Center. So that profession brings in people that care about others, and social services also does. So what about your upbringing made you such a want to go into caring professions, let's say?
I always enjoyed doing like customer service. I've always enjoyed interacting with people. I like to be able to provide for others. I think some of that comes from just watching my parents care for neighbors around the neighborhood, whether that would be like an elderly couple or foster care kid that maybe just needed a place to have a meal for the night. I think my faith definitely started to play into that more into my teens. But just I just had a need to care and love for the community.
That's great. And on the side, you grew up in the Carlisle area? Is this your home?
Yeah, outskirts of Carlisle.
Mm-hmm. When you originally joined Project SHARE, what were some of thinking back to the original days 6 years ago, what were some of your initial challenges in your position?
The organization wasn't specific to maybe my abilities. So I've been able over the last couple of years to reorganize, restructure, bring in some new programs that have assisted us with signing up and caring for volunteer information, building more of a internship process so that we have the correct help in the office to care and maintain volunteers. So
you say you learned organization, particularly when you joined Project SHARE, but I know you as being a very organized person, and you've actually kept me on task a lot of times too. So it's interesting to hear that that's one of the things that you learned from starting at Project SHARE. You had to be organized.
I think the volunteer coordinators that were before me had a different way of organizing things. So I had to kind of restructure my position in a way that I was good at organizing. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And was it done in a more of what I would call analog way with papers and things like that?
Yeah, and there was a lot of files.
And you moved it into what, an electronic?
Yeah, everything's pretty much electronic now.
Yeah. Could you describe volunteering at Project SHARE itself? I mean, what's the procedure? Let's say, what was the procedure and what were the numbers? How was it prior to the COVID-19 era that we're in now? How was it prior to that?
So prior to COVID-19, all volunteers had to register to go through an orientation that was going to be working at our facility on a weekly basis. They then had to meet with me on an individual or small group setting and go through basically the requirements for volunteering, what we expected, like the closed-toed shoes, how to dress, what we expected for the expectations while you're here. And then from that point, they were kind of moved to different departments to be oriented and trained by other staff members. After COVID, we are operating basically on sign-up sheets. However, the tasks have changed. We have regular volunteers who are still working in positions like the front office or client services in the warehouse. But the volunteers who are coming in are now doing like packing tasks, or they're doing distribution. So there isn't as much training to be done, and we are able to operate off of sign-in sheets. The sign-in sheets allow us to limit the number of volunteers, where in the past, for a distribution, we may have anywhere from 65 to 100 volunteers, and now we're operating with about 10.
Wow. Wow. What would have been the number of volunteers that we would go through over a yearly period, for example?
Normally, we would have operated with about 3,400 volunteers.
Wow. And a lot of those are groups from what sort of organizations?
We had school groups, church groups, corporations, civics groups. So a lot of groups coming in from the community. You would see Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. You would have college students coming in. Yeah, so
all of that has changed now. All of that
has changed. So right now, we do still have corporations that are sending volunteers. We have churches that are still sending volunteers. The school teachers and administrators have stepped up to help with volunteering. We're still seeing some older students coming through, but the difference is they're not signing up as groups anymore. They're now signing up as individuals.
Individuals. Mm-hmm. What's your recommendation for those people that are out there that may still want to volunteer? What's the procedure? What should they do? What's the first step they should take?
They can visit our website. So it's projectsharepa.org. And on the main page, you click the volunteer link. There are sign-up sheets online, and however many volunteers we need is how many will be on the sign-up sheet. And if anybody has any questions, they can contact me directly, either through email or by phone.
So give me a scenario of a volunteer now, what they're doing, how they arrive at Project Share or Farm Stand or whatever, and where do they go to? What do they have to? What sort of precautions that they have to take, and what do we have set up for them so that we're operating as safe as possible?
So we're asking that if you're volunteering, that you would come with a face mask on. If you do not have a face mask, we do have a limited quantity, but we're asking that you would let us know before showing up. At our main building, we are asking when you come in to go straight to wash your hands and then sign in. After signing in, you'll then be directed by a staff member. At Farm Stand's operating completely outdoors. So you actually just go over to the parking lot. They then ask that you would wash your hands, and then you would receive a task from either a lead volunteer or a staff member.
This all takes place once they've signed up online.
Correct. They have to sign up online first. We are only accepting the volunteers who are signed up.
Uh-huh. And our current needs are even moving into June. How do you see some of our current needs moving into June? Anything changing then? Or yes. What's going to remain the same and what might be changing?
So we're still going to have our weekly packing opportunities for both produce and shelf-stable items. We're still going to be doing Farm Stand on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We will have distribution here at our main building 1 week out of the month. And we will be adding our summer lunch and learn.
And our summer lunch and learn program is going to be changing as well, because we're not going to be doing the academic and the activity, the congregate part of the program, but we'll be putting together lunches and snacks for the children for the week. And we're going to be distributing that on a weekly basis, I believe, is our latest model of operation. So we need help, what?
So I think our biggest need is going to be for packing.
Mm-hmm. For packing the items. So that'll be coming up on the time to sign up.
Yes.
Chart coming up, and we'll advertise that on our Facebook page. And again, like you said, right on, all they do is go right to our website and they can click volunteer. And once it's there, it'll be there. So it's a really hard question to ask anybody, because nobody knows really what the future is holding. But do you see any of this, where any of this is leading us as we move further into 2020, or how far ahead can we really think? I mean, it's an impossible question to ask.
So I have groups that are reaching out to me for September and October. I am not making an assumption either way, but to provide a setup that whether we're working with an open door or we're doing a drive-up model, that we have the volunteers where we need them.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that any changes that have resulted from this kind of unprecedented period might lead to any adjustments or permanent changes? Are there some good things that might come out of this forced mode of operation?
I think there's a lot of awareness that has come out of this, especially with the social distancing and just like making sure you're washing your hands, making sure the surfaces are sanitized, which are a lot of things that we've already been implementing for many, many years. But I think it's just that awareness of, it's a refresher in your mind of, hey, I gotta wash my hands, I gotta change my gloves, I have to make sure that I'm allowing space. So I can't say for certain that there's going to be any changes, but I think it's just been a really good reminder of social hygiene. Yeah.
Are there any particular incidences or anecdotes or people, not necessarily naming names, because if we name one, we name them all, but any kind of general comments that you would make about some of the people that are volunteering and some of the things that they're doing and ways they're stretching themselves?
So we have many regular volunteers who have really stepped up to lead in certain areas to assist the staff, which has been crucial, especially with the amount of people that have been coming in through the week at different times. And it's also been great to see a lot of individuals who would be working during the day and not necessarily able to come in to volunteer. It gives them an opportunity to come in. So just to see the new faces in the community, and to be able to talk to our volunteers who, for one reason or another, need to stay home, to be able to give them the reassurance that it's okay to stay home, that we're doing okay, and that there are people who have come out that are able to, and that everything's going to be okay. We want to take the best interest of everybody in mind.
That's a great place to maybe end our conversation, but again, you kind of re-establish the fact that we're nourishing our community and awakening hope at the same time.
Yes, and I think we should stop and just say that thank you to everyone in the community that has come out to support us. You have made serving the community possible during this time. We are in awe of the support that has come out, and we just continue to want to provide a safe environment for everybody, and that we are just so thankful for everyone's help.
Thank you, Megan, for coordinating all that and what you do as well.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well.